And she said, I've had 7 miscarriages and now I'm here. This is my 8th pregnancy and I don't want to miscarry this baby because your baby is also sitting inside you. It catches you, your vibration as is. Epigenetics tells us that genes are like switches. They don't just stay on or off. They respond to the environment or to the emotions, to thoughts. Your prayer is not small. It is not just hope. It is programming. It is destiny making. But if you really wish to have a very deep, transformative impact on your child, then your way of life has to shift. So here's one simple practice you can begin right over. In our great epics, we see this truth play out again and again. In the Ramayana, Queen Kekai prayed with intensity and devotion for her son Bharat's well being and success. Her prayers and intentions shaped not just his life, but his destiny as one of the most dharmic rulers known for loyalty and sacrifice. In the Mahabharata, we see Gandhari who longed for children and undertook severe tapasya. Her prayers and penance paid so powerfully that she was blessed with 100 sons, the Kauravas. Now, whether you take these stories as literal history or as symbolic truths, the message is the same. A mother's prayers during pregnancy are never wasted. In our scriptures, they were never just rituals, they were blueprints shaping the child's future. And that's why Garbha Sanskar became such an important tradition. It was not just about rituals, it was about conscious living during pregnancy. Being in awareness of who you are, being in awareness of what your emotions are, communicating exactly how you feel in authenticity with your child, recognizing your child as he or she is inside the womb. And of course, chanting mantras, reading your holy books, and all of that really, really helps because it calms your mind. It validates whatever you are doing and it gives a certain amount of relaxation to you. However, it goes beyond this also. You need to stay awareness of your words, your energy, and what you're actually communicating with your child. You cannot be so angry inside you, drinking all the anger, having anger conversations, and then while lying, just saying, I am a calm mother, I am a calm mother. It does not work like this. Or you are so angry in the daytime and you're just chanting for 10 minutes some mantra and then you're sleeping. No, it doesn't. So, all this is going to help you maybe to 25-30%. But if you really wish to have a very deep, transformative impact on your child, then your way of life has to shift. The mantra chanting, the devotion, your religious rituals, these are not hacks. These cannot be the shortcuts. Your way of life, your thought process, your inner game has to shift because your child is responding to your inner game, your inner energy, your inner vibration, which you cannot fake. Why? Because your baby is also sitting inside you. It catches you, your vibration as is. So, working on yourself in that transformation is so crucial. And how do you work? The first thing is to work with accepting everything that you are today. You understand what you resist will persist. So, whatever good, bad, ugly you feel, first you say, yes, I'm feeling this. Suppose there are doubts. Suppose there are uncertainties sitting in your mind. Don't resist them. I'm surrendered, I'm surrendered, I'm surrendered. Chanting I'm surrendered 1000 times is never going to make you surrender. Okay. So, what you have to do is I recognize, I accept the doubt in me. I recognize, I accept the uncertainty in me. And then you will see the doubt sitting inside you, the uncertainty sitting inside you will be recognized. It will not shout or scream to be recognized, it will settle. Whatever you embrace settles, and whatever you are at war with, you're resisting, will stand against you. So, if it is, for example, doubt and uncertainty, you have to embrace it first, make it yours, and then it says, I'm ready to settle. So, when you accept yourself, however you are, without self criticism, without pointing fingers at yourself, this is the first stage. This is the first step, and it sets the stage. And what is the second step? The second step is in awareness that I have my doubts, in awareness that I have uncertainties. I am also in deep faith that it's all good. I'm also in deep faith that if this child has chosen me as its mother or father, then I am everything for this child. Because this child could have chosen anybody in the world, and this child chooses to come to me. This is your validation. This is your certainty. And this is also your surrender. This child is surrendered to you because this child has come to you. Now it's time for you to surrender to the child and for you to surrender to the divinity. And when this surrenderance happen, while you have accepted all your follies, all your so-called negativities, your imperfections, is when you start to let the perfect mother to this child or the perfect father to this child evolve through you. It will not come through resistance. It will only and only come through with accepting yourself. So let me share my experience in form of a story with you. It's my true experience. So there was a patient from a nearby city who had lost 7 babies through 7 miscarriages. Of course, she was completely hopeless and she was also in fear. She was in doubt if she was a good mother at all. And she was desperate. And somehow she heard about me and she came and she said, I've had 7 miscarriages and now I'm here. This is my 8th pregnancy and I don't want to miscarry this baby. Of course, the reports were all right and medically there seemed to be nothing, and whatever there was minor, it was all done and settled. I said, okay, let's not start with just medications, let's go beyond. And then we found out what her core problem was. Once she addressed that core problem, and of course, I had put on her medications and she was taking all the medicines which would support her baby grow, but she also worked on her subconscious block which was preventing the arrival of this child. And for her, everything shifted. And then the baby started to develop from the mother who was hopeless, disheartened, fearful, lack of faith, and more than that, desperate. She turned into a mother because of her block removal into happy, confident, hopeless being, and with her came her child. Eventually, her pregnancy went on to 38 weeks, and then she delivered to a very happy, hopefully happy, and she delivered to a healthy baby. And I witnessed this amazing, magical story through my practice, through my medical career. One of those stories that I witnessed. I'm Dr. Monika Singh Shubha, and I'm this working space or working as a medical doctor practicing obstetrics and sonology for more than 28 years. And through my career, I've delivered close to 10,000 babies and I've handheld thousands and thousands of patients through their journey of awakened pregnancy called Awakening in Womb. I'm also the author of the book Awakening in Womb, which you will find at Amazon. Now let's move back to the topic. Epigenetics tells us that genes are like switches. They don't just stay on or off. They respond to the environment or to the emotions, to thoughts which a mother carries throughout her pregnancy. And during this time, the mother's environment is the baby's environment. If a mother is constantly stressed, her body produces excess cortisol. That stress hormone crosses the placenta and programs the baby's nervous system to be more anxious, more hyper alert. On the other hand, when a mother practices gratitude, calmness, prayer, or any form of meditation, her body produces oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, the chemicals of love, joy, and safety. These hormones also cross the placenta and literally rewire the baby's developing brain. That's why I always say prayer is not just spiritual, it is a medicine for the subconscious. And the subconscious writes the DNA expression. What our scriptures call sanskaras, science calls gene expression. Different language, but the same truth. And I can tell you this, it's not just from the books, but from over 28 years of my working experience with the couples and the mothers. I've seen mothers who created a daily routine of gratitude, prayer, and a positive affirmations. These women often had smoother deliveries, and the babies grew up to be calmer, easier to soothe, and emotionally stronger. I've also seen opposite mothers who were constantly stressed, they were burdened with fear or surrounded by negativity. Many times their babies mirrored these struggles. Trouble sleeping, difficulty in feeding, and constant restlessness. It's not magic. It's not coincident. It's biology responding to spirituality. Now, imagine this with me. Imagine your child growing up with a deep inner belief: I am safe, I am loved, I am blessed, the world is a good place. Now imagine the opposite: a child who is growing up with an inner voice that says, I'm not enough, the world is unsafe, love is uncertain. The difference between these two inner voices doesn't start at school. It doesn't even start at birth. It becomes in the womb with your prayers, your words, your emotions. That is why I tell expecting mothers your prayer is not small. It is not just hope, it is programming, it is destiny making. So here's one simple practice you can begin right over. Every night before you sleep, place your hand on your womb, close your eyes, and say a 5-minute prayer or affirmation. Speak directly to your body. Tell them you are safe, you are loved, you are a blessing. I can't wait to welcome you. But also remember, this prayer will add on to your own transformation. Also, keep a watch on how you are being through the daytime. If you are awakened, if you are consciously being in the states of positive vibration, then these prayers, the bedtime prayers, they become icing on the cake. They become a very beautiful gift to your child. So, when you do this every day, you will be astonished at the peace it brings, not just to you, but to your baby. So, if you are expecting or you know someone who is pregnant, we have created a special free ebook that explains how to bring Garbha Sanskar into your daily life. Inside, you will find practical ways to blend spirituality and science. So your pregnancy becomes not just a journey of 9 months, but a conscious creation of a soul. You can download it right now using the link in the description or pinned comment below. And if you'd like to go deeper, I invite you to our upcoming workshop where I'll personally guide you step by step on how to experience pregnancy as a sacred, conscious journey. That link is also available right below this video because every prayer you whisper today is becoming tomorrow's DNA. Make those prayers count. So, this is Dr. Monica saying, signing off for now, and I'll see you soon.